Imagine a house on tall wooden legs overlooking the vast Atlantic Ocean. This house has stood for years, a sentinel against the tides. For years it's been a place of happy memories, where families gathered and laughter echoed. But today, the ocean is a powerful force. The sky darkens, and the waves grow fierce. Waves crash against the wooden legs, relentless and unyielding, pulling away the sand that holds the house steady. The foundation begins to weaken. The house groans under strain, creaking and tilting, a battle it cannot win. The structure begins to break apart. With a final sigh, it collapses into the churning water below, swallowed by the sea. This is happening now on the Outer Banks, where the sea reclaims the land. A dramatic reminder of nature's power. The ocean's might is undeniable. The ocean, once a giver of life, a source of beauty and sustenance, is reclaiming what it believes is its own. The shoreline is no longer safe. Homes that fall are not just buildings. They are the remnants of dreams and hard work. They are dreams built on sand. The very ground beneath them is slipping away. The closeness to the sea comes with great risk. Living by the ocean is a double-edged sword. The ocean's message is clear. It demands respect and caution. We must adapt to a changing world. Our survival depends on it. This story of collapsing homes is becoming more common. It's a sign of the times. It's a warning sign from our planet. As structures fall, we must heed the call. We must ask, how do we live alongside such a powerful neighbor? What changes must we make? The ocean is sending a message we must understand. It's a call to rethink our relationship with nature. It's a story of loss, of cherished memories washed away, but also a call to action. We must come together to find solutions. We must learn to adapt to this changing world. Our future depends on it. The Outer Banks of North Carolina are a delicate ribbon of sand stretching over 200 miles. On one side, the powerful Atlantic Ocean. On the other, calmer sounds. This unique geography creates stunning beauty with wide beaches and tall dunes. For centuries, these islands have called to people, from lighthouse keepers to pirates. Today, they are a beloved destination for millions. Families build sand castles, fishermen cast lines, and surfers ride waves. But living here means accepting the wildness of the place. The islands are constantly moving and changing. Storms can transform the peaceful scene into chaos. Residents understand the constant threat of hurricanes and flooding. The houses along the shore symbolize our desire to be part of this world. But that dream is becoming harder to sustain. The ground beneath these homes is shifting, reminding us we are temporary guests. Late September 2025 brought shocking change to the Outer Banks. What began as a typical hurricane season quickly escalated into a week that would be remembered for years to come. Hurricanes Humberto and Imelda sent massive waves racing towards the coast, battering the fragile barrier islands with relentless force and energy. The sandy foundation of oceanfront homes began to disappear as the relentless surf carved away the very ground beneath them, leaving houses teetering on exposed pilings. On September 30th, 5 vacation homes collapsed into the sea, their walls and roofs torn apart by the waves, leaving only debris behind. By October 3rd, 9 homes were lost in 1 week. The destruction was swift, relentless, and heartbreaking for residents and property owners. This rapid destruction highlighted the vulnerability of these coastal communities, where every storm season brings new risks and uncertainty. Since May 2020, at least 21 homes on Hatteras Island have been claimed by the ocean, a stark reminder of the ongoing threat facing the region. The events of that week were a dramatic wake-up call, forcing residents and officials to confront the reality of living on a constantly shifting shoreline. It was a clear demonstration of the coastline's vulnerability, as entire stretches of beach vanished in a matter of days. The images of houses breaking apart turned a local problem into a national conversation. drawing attention from across the country to the crisis unfolding on the Outer Banks. This was not the first time houses had fallen in this area. The Outer Banks have a long history of battling the sea, with each storm leaving its mark, but never before had so many been lost so quickly, in such a short and devastating span of time. The destruction showed how quickly the coastline could change, and how little time there is to react when nature takes over. It was a shocking acceleration of a growing problem, one that demands urgent attention as the forces of nature continue to reshape the Outer Banks. To truly understand why these houses are falling into the sea, we first need to understand the unique nature of the Outer Banks themselves and what makes them so vulnerable to change. These islands are what geologists call barrier islands. Essentially, they are giant sandbars, constantly shaped and reshaped by the relentless forces of wind and waves. Their beauty is undeniable, but beneath that beauty lies an incredible fragility. The sand that forms these islands is always shifting, making the coastline inherently unstable and unpredictable. The U.S. Geological Survey even calls this region one of the most dynamic landscapes in the entire country, a place where change is the only constant. Over time, the islands are always changing shape. Sand is in constant motion, carried by tides, storms, and currents, sometimes disappearing from one spot and reappearing in another. In their natural state, these islands would slowly migrate, rolling back toward the mainland as storms and waves push sand inland, a process called overwash. But instead of letting nature take its course, we've built permanent homes and businesses on these ever-moving islands, trying to anchor them in place. Roads, homes, and infrastructure are all attempts to hold a piece of the island still, to resist the natural movement of sand and shoreline. But the ocean is relentless. It continues its ancient work, moving sand, eroding beaches, and reshaping the land, regardless of what we build. The real conflict arises when the island's natural movement collides with our desire for permanence. Our structures are no match for the power of the sea. Houses that once stood safely back from the water now find themselves on the very edge, because the shoreline they were built on has vanished. With every storm, the ocean eats away more of the buffer that once protected these homes, leaving them increasingly exposed. Now, instead of breaking on the beach, waves crash directly against the pilings and foundations of these houses, undermining their stability. The sand beneath them is washed away, leaving nothing to support the weight of the buildings above. Eventually, gravity and the relentless force of the waves do the rest, causing houses to collapse into the sea. The ground beneath these homes is literally being taken away by the ocean, leaving only remnants behind. This is why so many houses here are in danger, caught between the unstoppable forces of nature and our desire to live on the edge of the sea. The natural movement of the barrier islands is not the only reason for destruction. Rising sea levels and increasing storm intensity worsen the problem. As the Earth's climate warms, sea levels rise, and storms grow stronger. Higher tides and storm surges reach further inland. Massive waves ride on higher sea levels, magnifying their destructive power. Overwash pushes saltwater and sand across the island, flooding roads. Rising seas and stronger storms accelerate erosion. The beach, the island's first line of defense, is worn away. Houses once safely set back are now on the front line. The buffer zone that protected them has vanished. Scientists have long warned about this situation. They see it as an expected outcome of building in high-risk areas. Rob Young describes it as an unmanaged retreat from the ocean front. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration links intensified storms to climate change. A warmer planet fuels stronger storms and higher sea levels. The Outer Banks are on the front lines of these changes. Dr. Young calls the current approach of letting houses fall the worst way to handle the problem. Collapsed houses create dangerous debris, requiring expensive cleanup. Experts advocate for a planned, proactive approach. The scientific community urges us to face this reality head-on. The challenge is to listen and act. Behind the images of collapsing houses are real stories of people. The Outer Banks are home to thousands whose lives are tied to these islands. Rising tides and crumbling coastlines threaten their homes and jobs. The loss of a house is more than just a building. It's a family's investment. Tourism, the local economy's lifeblood, faces uncertainty. Debris from fallen homes creates hazards, impacting visitor experiences. The economic stakes are high, with real estate valued in billions. The threat to Highway 12 jeopardizes the entire economy. The human cost of erosion is measured in emotional tolls. After the house collapses, the community acted quickly. Public safety was the primary concern. Officials warned visitors to stay away from collapsed sites. A significant cleanup operation was launched to remove debris. The events forced a larger community conversation. Some advocate for beach nourishment projects, others for managed retreat. There are no easy answers, and opinions vary. The recent collapses made this conversation urgent. The community is at a crossroads, confronting a moving line between land and sea. The debate is difficult and emotional. The future of the Outer Banks requires change. The collapse of 9 houses signals a changing climate. We must accept this reality and listen to scientists. Strategic building and managed retreat are possible actions. Protecting natural defenses like dunes and marshlands is crucial. Working with nature provides sustainable protection. Natural solutions can complement efforts like beach nourishment. Protecting these places requires shared effort. Homeowners, communities, and governments must make wise choices. The Outer Banks teach us to respect nature's power. By making wise choices, we can ensure these islands' future. We must adapt to the changes happening on our planet.